Hi everyone, Tim Brown. Welcome to the Help Desk. Today, I'm going to show you how you can create a podcast using chapter markers. And what are those exactly? Let me show you. So here's a podcast that I publish. It's called Art and Access. And here you see an example of one recording. It's an interview with an artist in 5 parts. And you can see I have 5 chapters, which you can access in Apple Podcasts, for example. And you can see there's a corresponding thumbnail, right? So if I also go to another section of this recording, you see there's another corresponding image that changes. That's a chapter marker, but what's even better is that the chapter markers have visual references. These are not video files, however, these are MP3s that reference these images in the RSS feed. So I created a video recording interview with the artist named June Lee. And so I exported that video into an audio format and I imported it into Ferrite. And the way you would do that is go to the left-hand side and just select the import audio option and bring that into your project. And then once it's in, you're going to go ahead and select edit. It's going to take you into a view that looks like this. So as you can see, here is my audio file with the corresponding waveforms. You can also edit the file too as well before you add chapter markers. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just tap on this audio file and just hit split, and then tap the area that I do not want, and hit delete. And then I'm going to take that track and just kind of bring it together so it's a little smoother. Obviously, I have a lot of other areas in my track that I want to do this, but I'm just going to demonstrate this with this one little section. And this is where I'm going to introduce my first chapter marker. And to do that, you're going to hit the final mix option and select edit MP3 chapters down below. And it's going to bring up this dialog window here, and this is where you add your first chapter. So in this case, this section of the recording or the interview with the artist is she's provided an overview. So I'm just going to call this overview. And you can also bring in artwork. Your artwork should be 1400 by 1400 pixels at a minimum. And you're going to bring that into your project like so. You also, in addition to giving your title name, you could add a URL here as well. And I will go through and do this for every section of my recording. But I'm going to stop there because it's pretty routine after that. Once you got all your chapter markers in place, you're going to hit the icon in the bottom left, take you back to the project view, and then you're going to select share, export, and then audio. The file should be an MP3. If the file is not an MP3, you want to go to the settings icon on the left-hand side here, and you want to make sure that lossy.mp3 is selected by default, and that will guarantee that your export will be an MP3. And it's really that simple. Then whatever platform you're using to publish your podcast, you'll just upload that MP3, and then when you go to retrieve that recording in your podcast app, it should show up like this. If you have any questions about this process, let me know. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. My name is Tim Brown. Thanks for tuning in to the Help Desk. See you next time.